Z say the defendant conned them and are suing for the return of $5,000. Defendant Caleb Estrada says they didn't understand the deal, and he lost his money too.
Remain seated and come to order. Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Faith Jenkins presiding. Your Honor, this case is El Ghazari Fawzi versus Estrada.
Okay, thanks, Barbara. Okay, Mr. El Ghazari?
Yes.
You and your co-plaintiff, Mr. Fawzi, are suing the defendant, Caleb Estrada, for $5,000 for the return of money you say he kept in exchange for an iPhone purchase or transaction you were involved in with the defendant?
Yes.
Okay. How do you know the defendant?
He used to work for a dealership a few years back, and Caleb Estrada, he used to have a detail company. He used to detail cars. A few years down the line, to be exact, it was April 21st, 2014, hanging out with some mutual friends, and that he happened to know them as well. And when he came over, he was saying, I can get you really good iPhones for such a good deal. If you spend a little bit of money, I can get them down to $260 a phone, you know.
Your Honor, can we go back?
Sure.
My buddy our mutual friend knew what I was doing. And he said, hey, Caleb, how do we get into that? So.
Okay, when you say knew what you were doing, what do you mean?
As far as the iPhone business, we would buy them at a wholesale price and resell them.
Okay.
Now, these would go to China, Pakistan, Africa. You know, people pay higher for these type of phones overseas. We meet through his mutual friend. He gives me a call. He's like, hey, I have somebody that's interested in investing.
It wasn't an investment, Your Honor, it's a transaction. I basically gave him a set amount for a set amount of phones.
What was the conversation you had with the defendant about this transaction?
He was like, if you put a good amount down, I can get you phones for—
What's a good amount?
$5,000, you know, $4,000 or $5,000. You can get the phones at $260 a phone.
And?
So I put $2,500.
And sell them for what kind of?
It's an iPhone 5S, the brand new sealed iPhone 5Ss.
Okay.
Now I was supposed to get 19 phones for the exchange of $5,000.
And for 19 phones, you were going to sell them and make what kind of profit?
Well, I mean, I already know how much you can make. I mean, the phones go for retail
But I asked you how much you would make in profit, and you said you didn't know. I'm asking you what you wrote in your complaint about the profit that you planned on making with the
25
phones.
to 30. I had a text message saying that he made 30,000, and he was supposed to come over and give me my share.
Tell me how you make $20,000 to $30,000 profit on 19 iPhones.
19 phones times 650, 700.
Who are you planning on selling these phones to?
I didn't have a plan on who I was going to sell it to yet. I don't know if I was going to post them on eBay, if I had a friend that I was going to sell them to. I didn't know yet. I was just trying to get— I didn't know. I didn't have a plan for those phones. So you were going
to shell out $5,000 in cash.
Yes.
To get 19 iPhones, and you have no plan on who and when where you're going to sell the iPhones to, but you're going to make $20,000.
Eventually, when I do sell them, yeah.
You all do know that I was a former DA and a prosecutor, right? You're bringing this case in front of a former DA?
Okay.
So somebody better start telling me the truth about what's going on here with these iPhones. You don't make $20,000 on 19 iPhones.
Can I explain that?
No, I want to go back to, because you say you gave him $5,000 cash. When did you do that?
I didn't give it to him right away. I met him the next day, which is the day the transaction happened. I met him right there. He basically told me, he's like, give me the money, I'm going to go get him, and I'll be back. I didn't feel comfortable giving him the money. So you're in the business, I'm not asking you anything. He's in the business of buying iPhones wholesale. Yes.
You don't go to his business to give him $5,000.
I did. He didn't want me to, due to security measures saying they don't want people knowing that there's so many iPhones available at the store.
They don't want what people to know?
I don't know. That's what, according to him, he doesn't want people,
Sir,
the store
you're giving him $5,000.
Yes, that's why that's why I told him to go. I can't give you the money right then and there, and we almost didn't do the deal. He stopped me. He's like, you know what? I want to make some money too. Just, you can follow me there. Just wait around the corner, and so that way nobody knows you're coming.
Where's there?
On Boulevard. I think it was like on Street.
He tells you, wait around the corner because I don't want these people to know that you're coming.
I brought somebody over to the store because nobody's supposed to know that they produce that much iPhones.
And you think this is an actual legitimate business transaction?
Oh, yeah, it says wholesale, retail, iPhone, everything on the top of the shop.
You give him $5,000 cash.
I gave it to him right then and there because I knew where he lives.
Where were you when you gave him the $5,000 cash?
Right in his car, right outside on the corner of the shop.
Coming up on Judge Faith.
These guys have been robbed before.
Who are these guys?
Now, these guys are the people I buy phones from, okay? Now,
who are they?
they're people that buy phones. I don't know the exact name of their company.
And later, a recycling rage in Brooklyn.
Took the garbage down, and he pretty kind of furiously stopped me at the door. I hear a can in the garbage bag.
If the can was not in the wrong garbage, he would not have been approached.
Plaintiffs Ahmed Al-Ghazari and Sharif Fazi are suing their former friend for $5,000 for the loss of 19 iPhones. Defendant Caleb Estrada says they made an investment.
What did he tell you about the transaction?
He told me how much he can get the phones for and what Caleb was saying, and I actually used to sell phones before.
Where were the phones coming from?
From Caleb and the store that he allegedly worked at.
The store that he told you he didn't want you to go to because he didn't want the people to see you at the store.
Right.
Why couldn't the people that where you work at see the plaintiff?
It's not the fact that I don't work for anybody. I do this independently. So I have buddies that could get these phones wholesale. I give them a call, I'm like, hey, and again, it's not only $5,000 going into this deal. We're looking at almost $12,000 in total because I put $6,000 of my money into this deal, okay? And he's like, you know what? I just don't feel comfortable giving you $5,000, you taking off, and who knows what. I'm like, you know what? If you want to ride with me, that's fine. So we rode together down to Burbank.
I didn't ride with them.
He rode in his car. He followed me. He followed me in his car. Okay, we get to the place. I'm like, give me a second. Now, these guys have been robbed before.
Who are these guys?
Now, these guys are the people I buy phones from. Okay, now.
Who are they?
They're people that buy.
Shell out $12,000 to people who buy phones.
No, I've done business with these guys before. Phones. I don't know
I don't
the
know who you buy
exact name of their company. I don't know the name of the company.
So you just shell out $12,000 to people who buy phones.
No, I've done business with these guys before. I mean, I could tell you they're all wireless store. I don't know their name of the store. I don't remember the name of the store. Okay.
But
Again.
you went over there with my money.
Again.
$12,000.
I go there. I buy the phones.
I assume you make all these transactions in cash?
Well, this was cash. So I sent a picture of the phones. Hey, I got them. Now, what do? I have people that buy these phones for $850, $900 a piece.
Now, Your Honor, I didn't know. I basically gave him the money to get me my phones. That's the reason why I want them. So when he gets the phone, he has to give them to me because that's my possession.
We didn't agree on that.
He drove off right after he got the phones.
We did not
He
agree
drove
on
off,
that.
and then I had to keep calling him like a couple times
sir.
until he answered. He was like, you know what? I'm on my way to Orange County right now. I should be back like in 45 minutes. Wait for me right there. I'm gonna sell them for more money. I'm gonna get my cut, and you can get your money.
What happened to your $5,000, sir?
I wish I knew. I've been calling him every day for it. I've been asking him every day for it. Every day he's like, I'm gonna give you your money today.
So he
I'm
drove
gonna give you your
off.
money tomorrow.
He drove off. You never saw your $5,000
Since April 22nd
again.
until I filed for this case, I've been calling him almost on a daily basis. I went to his house and knocked on his door. I'm like, where's my money?
Okay,
he was
so
never
what
there.
happened
I've
to the
never seen him after.
$5,000?
We discussed this already. Okay.
Who discussed this?
We all did discuss this, and we just went through this, didn't we?
Are you talking to me?
I'm just saying.
Oh, no, I don't think you're talking to me.
We just went through this, didn't we?
No, we didn't. If I ask you a question, that means I don't have the answer to it. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, you may do your shady business deals with him, and you may be able to sell a story to them about iPhones, but when you come here, you will respect this court.
Yes, ma'am.
If I ask you a question, you answer.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So the $5,000, we buy the phones.
What did you do with the money?
Okay, so we buy the phones. Now, I go off
Who
to
is we, sir?
myself. I buy the phones, and I pretty much, we're done. And I'm like, hey, okay, my buyer is ready for me in Orange County. I'm gonna shoot over there now.
Who's your buyer?
Again, he's a private person. This guy, this is what he does. This is his business. So this is what he does. You know, I go there, and I'm like, hey, I have the phones. Nothing happens that day. I let him know.
I kept telling him, like, give me my phone.
See you at the store.
Right.
Why couldn't the people that where you work at see the plaintiff?
It's not the fact that I
Phones. I didn't want him to do
Now
that.
this
I didn't want him
happens.
to go over there and take
He
the
tells me,
phones.
give me my phone's like a week, 2 weeks later. You
I
know?
told you give me my phones a week or 2 weeks later?
Yeah, about.
So what did I say for a week or 2 weeks?
My only question to you is who stole the iPhones off the truck? Because you can't tell me we're not dealing with stolen merchandise. So is that your business? You deal with stolen merchandise?
I don't. No, we don't.
Who in your family is in law enforcement?
My dad.
Because you wrote in your answer that you would never be involved in a scam because you have a family member who's in law enforcement. Well, you know what? He does not have to go far to look for his next case. All he has to do is call you. This case is dismissed. You guys go home.
Plaintiff Sharia Rochas and her boyfriend Daniel Barnett are suing their former landlady for $2,250 for the return of their security deposit on their apartment. Defendant Mary Nesbitt says she refunded them the money they were owed, but withheld the rest for damages.
Okay, Sharia Rochas?
Yes.
You are suing the defendant Mary Nesbitt for the return of a security deposit, correct?
Correct.
Okay, tell me about your case.
Well, I met the defendant in October of 2012. I moved into her townhouse in Brooklyn.
How did you learn that she was renting an apartment in the townhouse?
I used a real estate agent that I had used before.
Okay.
We were looking for a pet-friendly apartment in the same area that we were currently living in.
Okay, and how much
That's what
was the
advertised
rent?
for. It was $25.50.
Did you sign a lease?
I did.
Do you have a copy of that?
I do.
And how much was the security deposit?
The security deposit was also $25.50.
Okay, great.
Here's the lease.
Okay, and the defendant allowed for you to have pets in the unit?
Yes. So we moved in September, in October of 2012, and we quickly realized that Mark had some rules and obligations that we had to follow.
And that's the defendant's son?
Correct.
If I can say, she really felt entitled to everything.
What do you mean by that?
Because we had simply asked her to recycle her garbage. It's ruled by the Department of Sanitation.
Right.
Everyone recycles. In the lease,
I hear a can in the garbage bag.
it's laid out. You have to recycle. They yesed me, said they would do it, but they did not follow through.
Was that your only issue with them?
And the noise, of course. They made a lot of noise.
What was the issue with the noise?
The plaintiff would come in late at night, maybe 1 o'clock in the morning, but whenever she came in, they played with the dog all during the night, throwing toys across the floor. My son, who lived underneath them, would ask them to, stop, and they would say, yeah, and maybe they would stop for a night or so and continue going back to the same thing.
Well, there are hardwood floors, and whenever you have hardwood floors and you have people living below, there's going to be noise because of the hardwood floors. Had you not considered that when you put in the hardwood floors?
We did consider that, and we also told them, and they agreed that they would put down a rug. They didn't do it right away, and when they did get a rug, they didn't get a rug that was large enough.
I disagree with that statement. We did provide a rug that was large enough for the entire apartment to appease her son. He was incredibly rude about the recycling. It's not that we didn't want to recycle. It's that he forced my boyfriend to come downstairs and separate the bottle that was in the garbage. I understand the recyclables.
Step over to the lectern. What was the issue with the defendant's son?
Yeah, I mean, just an example of it. One morning, running late, took the garbage down, and he pretty kind of furiously stopped me at the door. I hear a can in the garbage bag. We have to take care of this right now. Opened up the garbage bag, started sorting through the garbage on the street, and fixed it.
If there was a can in the wrong garbage, if sanitation comes, we get fined.
You do get fined.
So
I understand that.
for him to say like he feels he was being harassed, if the can was not in the wrong garbage, he would not have been approached.
Next on Judge Faith.
Did you break the toilet seat?
No, it's a hinge that connects the toilet seat to the toilet. All we did was use the toilet. We didn't do anything to the toilet seat to cause any breaking.
Plaintiff Sharia Rochas and her boyfriend Daniel Barnett are suing their former landlady for the return of their security deposit. Defendant Mary Nesbitt says her tenants were loud and disrespectful.
Both of you work? You were
Yes.
working, okay, and were you there in the brownstone the entire time? Are you retired? Wait around the corner because I don't want these people to know that you're tired.
I'm retired.
What did you do for a living when you were working?
I worked for the Department of Correction.
Okay, what did you do there?
I was a supervisor.
You were a supervisor?
Yes, I was.
So you only lived in this brownstone for 1 year, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and what day did you sign the lease on?
October 15th, 2012.
And what day did you move out?
We moved out October 1st, 2013. We found a new apartment in September because we received a certified letter from the defendant that our rent was going to be raised about 40%, from $25.50 a month to $35.50 a month.
I mean, $1,000, that is a lot.
The message there was, you have to go.
Okay.
That was actually the message.
Which I took. Yeah. I understood that message. We found an apartment shortly after that. We got the message. We moved right away.
Okay, so your lease actually ended on September 30th, 2013, and then the issue became you kept their security deposit. How much of the security deposit did she keep?
$25.50 was the security. She returned $914. I have the check here. She sent a certified check with just the check. No list of deductions, $915 was returned to me.
And you did not cash that check?
No.
Was there a walkthrough before you moved out?
No.
And Ms. Nesbitt, why wasn't there a walkthrough?
She did see the apartment. My son looked at the apartment.
Not with me, he didn't, because 2 weeks before we moved out, I had an altercation with her son. So I did not speak or see her son for 2 weeks because he came up to my apartment one day to complain about music, and he forced himself upon the door frame at one point, screaming at me with rage, exclaiming to me that this was not my apartment. I was trying to tell him that it is my apartment. I pay rent to live here. I expect some respect. He wouldn't let go of the door to the point where I was fearful. I called the defendant crying right after, saying that I was very scared of the situation and I didn't know what to do.
Ms. Nesbitt, is that true? I'm not asking you anything. He's in the business of buying iPhones wholesale.
When he spoke to the plaintiff, he said he was standing in the door, and when he was asking her to be quiet or whatever this conversation was, she went to slam the door in his face.
Okay, so you deducted from their security deposit $1,635.
Yes.
Now, I know that you kept $83 for rent for the first day of October, and you admit you did stay there one day in October. Why did you keep the rest of the security deposit?
We have wooden floors, wooden Brazil floors in the apartment, and it looked like someone took a hammer or some heavy object and just hammered into the floor that it cannot be repaired.
May I see the photos of the
Yes.
damages to the floor?
I could also add, we weren't throwing hammers across the floor.
And
Were the
here's
floors
the other one.
scuffed or damaged at all?
the photos are extreme close-ups of these scratches.
You mean the defendant's photos?
Yes.
Okay.
Scratches could have been from moving in, from furniture, could have been from the dog, but
Let's see the photos.
most of everything was covered in carpeting.
Are these the scratches you're referring to, Ms. Nesbitt?
That's part of that, some of it, yes. That's damage.
Those
Can't
are
even
scratches
fix
on the
that.
wood flooring?
Yes.
Okay, so you showed me scuffed floor. What else do you have?
The broken toilet seat.
Did you break the toilet seat?
No, it's a hinge that connects the toilet seat to the toilet. All we did was use the toilet. We didn't do anything to the toilet seat to cause any breaking.
And now, Judge Faith rules.
So I'm ready to rule in this case now. I've looked at all of the evidence, and in these cases, it's a judgment call. It's what is reasonable, normal wear and tear, and the question is, have you proven to me that they damaged the unit enough for you to keep their security deposit in the amount of $1,635, and I find that you have not proven that. So I am going to order you to return to the plaintiff's $2,467. Don't cash the check that she gave you for the $913. I'm going to order you just to return the lump sum, $2,467. I did deduct $83 for the one day that you did stay in October. That's my judgment for the plaintiff. Hold on,
Okay,
to the $5,000.
We discussed this already, okay?
Who discussed this?
She's the judge in her own courtroom. Her cases are real, and her rulings are final. She is Judge Faith. Plaintiff Danielle Johnson claims her landlady is a slumlord and is suing for emotional distress and damages to her mattress. Defendant Elizabeth Williams says Danielle is a problem tenant and is countersuing for damages to a toilet.
Remain seated and come to order. Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Faith Jenkins presiding. Your Honor, this is Johnson versus Williams.
Thank you, Barbara. Ms. Johnson, you've alleged a series of incidents with your apartment you leased from your landlord, the defendant, one in which involved your bed being damaged, according to you. So you're suing for $525 for your bed and $4,475 for emotional distress.
Yes.
Ms. Williams, you are countersuing for $295, the cost of a toilet you say the plaintiff broke on purpose. Ms. Johnson, we'll start with you. Let me hear about your tenancy.
This here is the slumlord from hell. Ever since she bought the building in January of this year, my slice of heaven, which is what I call my apartment, went straight to hell because of her.
How long have you lived in the apartment?
I lived in there for 4 years. And then here she comes buying the place out of nowhere. She should have stayed where she was because she didn't need to be here.
So earlier this year, the defendant purchased the building that you live in? Mm-hmm. And what happened after that?
What didn't happen, okay? First of all, 2 weeks after she got the building, one of her workers, so-called workers, you know, most of them she get from, you know what I mean? That's where her workers come from. One of her workers put their foot through my ceiling in my kitchen.
So hold on a second. After you purchased this building, you started doing construction on the roof?
That's correct, Your Honor.
No. I live in a fourplex, okay? I live on the bottom. She's renovating the one above me. There's nobody in that apartment, okay? Her so-called workers come in there. I'm asleep. I work graveyard shift.
Are you talking to me?
I'm just saying.
Oh, no, I don't think you're talking to me.
Mind you, I'm in my bed asleep. I wake up to a hole in my ceiling above my stove and all this debris all over on the floor. Her or her worker did not even have the decency to come and wake me up, knock on my door or nothing and tell me that they had did this. They just went on their little merry way.
Okay, so your workers were doing construction on the apartment above her apartment. And what happened with the ceiling?
What had happened, Your Honor, is we were not only doing the roof and then the vacant unit that was below it.
Vacant. I was in that unit.
Hold on one second.
It's not vacant. I'm in that unit.
Hold on one second.
Thank you, Your Honor. And what had happened is you know, they're walking in between beams because this...
Stop looking at her. Turn around. Look at me. Calm down. Relax. Okay.
They're walking in between beams because this unit needed major overhaul before I purchased it, okay? And so when they were walking, one of them went in between the beam and the leg went through. So as soon as we found out about it, sent the men down there, we took care of it. I have the text messages from her. Thank you so much for taking care of this. And this is the kind of attitude we deal with no matter what I do.
But that's a pretty serious construction issue when someone's leg comes through the roof of her apartment building
Actually,
ceiling.
Your Honor, no, it was just right in between the beams. You know, it's not like a beam fell down. It's
no,
like,
his leg came through my ceiling, and you did not even let me know. I woke up to this.
So you're not contesting. Hold on one second.
No, there's no excuse for you. They could have had the decency to let me know. I'm in my bed, sleep. I wake up to this.
He's going to give you notice that he fell through.
Hold on one second.
And then, after that, they left her and her so-called worker. Like I said, they don't have real workers. They get the ones from around the way. You know, the ones from, you know. They could have at least went to Home Depot. At least maybe they know something about the construction, okay?
So when's the next time? You said that your roof collapsed a number of times. Tell me about the next time.
Before that, we had the February. Everybody knew about the storm that was gonna come in February.
Like a rainstorm?
Yes, the rainstorm.
Okay.
We ain't had rain in I don't know how long up in the Bay. Okay? Everybody knew we were gonna have a rainstorm. Why do her workers, okay, again, decide to do the roof during a rainstorm? Are you serious? Who does that?
So they were repairing a roof.
Where did they do that at?
So you say that they were repairing a roof during the rainstorm.
It would be funny if I didn't have to come home and see this.
So what happened? Your roof collapsed?
No, we getting there. We getting to that one. We ain't there yet. No. I came in and my bed is it's drenched. I turned it on the side. It looked like Niagara Falls coming out of my mattress.
So the roof was leaking because of the construction.
They undid the roof, and then the stupid idiot left and didn't even tell nobody.
Do you have any pictures?
Cover it.
And this is where you're alleging damages to your bed, right? Do you have photos? Can I see the photos?
Oh my God.
What happened with the roof leaking? Did she call you about that incident?
I think it was in a text, Your Honor.
Okay.
I took over the property January 15th.
I'm talking about that specific incident that she's speaking about.
I am talking about that, Your Honor.
Okay.
On January 15th.
That's not a good picture.
On January 16th, I notified...
You won't let me bring that.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm sorry. On January 16th, I notified all residents that we would be having dumpsters delivered on the 17th because all of the roofs on the complex, this is a very dilapidated complex, the previous owner did not take... This is what I've had to deal with.
Hold on
so
one
sorry.
second. Go ahead.
So
had to deal
it
with you
needed
breathing.
work, and so immediately, like I said, we closed escrow on the 15th. Letters delivered to the residents on the 16th. Dumpsters delivered on the 17th for the work to all of the roofs of the property to be redone.
Okay, that means I don't have the answer to it. Do you understand? Okay, so let me ask, if you were going to do construction, there was pretty serious construction on the roof, why not move people out of their units if there's a probability that a roof could collapse or there could be serious leaks and people's property could be damaged or legs coming in through the ceiling?
Because that costs money. She does the cheap route.
Please, let her answer the question.
No, I haven't done that at all.
Because there seems to be pretty serious renovations while people are living in their homes.
Normally roof construction, you take out a permit, you do a tear off, you see what's going on. This should have been relatively easy when we started into the project.
What it sounds like,
the first thing you do is tear off, and then you'll find out that you had more damage. Okay, which is exactly what we did. And then you can cover up. Now on Miss Johnson's roof, it happens to be what's called a flat roof. And flat roofs are a lot different than a pitched roof. And when the rainstorm did come in, yes, it was covered, okay, but the water doesn't have anywhere to go when it's on a flat roof, where on a pitched roof it can. So on a flat roof it collected, and that's what caused the problem. However, the roof
what did you do to fix the leak that time, this second incident that she's referring to?
For when the roof leaked, the roof was replaced.
When was the roof replaced?
The exact final date, I don't know, but I believe we finished somewhere.
What date did this incident happen with your mattress?
About the 2nd or 3rd of February.
Okay, when was the roof replaced?
It was in process at that point. I believe we were completed by the end of February.
Excuse me.
Okay, so...
There is no excuse.
Yeah, not as long as you're breathing.
Don't talk to each other, ladies. Just don't talk to each other.
Coming up on Judge Faith.
I had to freaking ask permission to even go to the bathroom because the workers was up there standing around laughing and playing music.
What do you
Maybe
have to
if
say
she
about
wasn't
that?
so busy sexting the workers, I could have got this stuff done.
Really?
Yes, really.
She complained about her son because she couldn't get no.
One thing I don't have a problem with is getting. Maybe if you stop sucking on one, then you would get some.
Danielle Johnson says her landlady was a slumlord and is suing for emotional damage and to replace her mattress. Elizabeth Williams is countersuing for damage to her toilet.
Tell me what this is a picture of.
This is the first time the bathroom ceiling collapsed. The first time, mind you. Look, I'm on my way to the bathroom. Thank God the roar came and I jumped back in time that it was gonna, that light that you see up there, that is the apartment above me, the renovation apartment that she's doing.
Wow, there's a hole in that roof.
I had to freaking ask permission to even go to the bathroom because the workers was up there standing around laughing and playing music.
What do you have?
And we're done.
Maybe if she wasn't so busy sexting the workers, I could have got this stuff done.
Really?
Yes, really.
She complained about her son because she couldn't get no.
Okay. Yeah. One thing I don't have a problem with is getting. Maybe if you start sucking on one, then you would get some. Leave that 18-year-old worker of yours alone, and then maybe you wouldn't know what it feel like. Get a real man. Get a real man. Leave them little boys alone. That little 18-year-old worker, leave him alone. He barely grown.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna tell his mom on you.
Your Honor.
Okay.
Your Honor, when I was notified of corrections by the city, the corrections were fixed within 3 days.
3 days, my behind.
The city was notified me by email.
Talk to the judge.
No time.
Ma'am, talk to the judge.
Welcome to my world, Your Honor.
You are the devil's mother.
Okay, ladies, you have to watch your language. You understand? You're in court.
Yes, ma'am, I'm sorry.
I'm looking at this photo now, and this looks.
That's nothing.
This is a pretty significant problem. This looks like work that needs to be done. And for 19 phones, you were going to sell them and make what kind of profit?
Well, I mean,
when residents have been removed from the area, because that doesn't look safe. That doesn't look like a safe place where someone can live when there's a hole in the ceiling. What do you have to say about that? Wait.
Okay.
Yes, Your Honor. Unfortunately, that's what happened. The apartment above had, like I said, so much problems. And when you open up the walls, I can see now why the previous owner left this unit vacant for so long. because when you opened up the walls and water was turned on, unfortunately, water was leaking out of the pipes, okay? And you don't know that till the walls are opened. So when that happened, she notified us, boom, I'm so sorry.
Let me see the next photo.
Excuse me, Judge Faith.
Let me see the next photo.
Wasn't nothing leaking until her construction started. That's my bathroom.
What is this?
That's when the bathroom, when the ceiling collapsed, and that's a good picture. You ain't seen when it got bad.
What do you have to say about that?
Excuse me,
Your Honor,
Judge
yes,
Faith.
that absolutely happened, okay? And we
Twice.
came in, we fixed it immediately, we did
Bull.
all of
But
the
it should
cleaning.
not have happened. That's the problem.
You know,
this is
unfortunately-
inexcusable. She does not have to live in an apartment where the roof keeps collapsing above her head. She shouldn't have to live like that. Would you want to live in an apartment like that?
Yeah,
Would you want to live in
absolutely.
an apartment like that?
I'm sorry, Your
Would
Honor.
you want to live in an apartment where the roof keeps collapsing and your bathroom
absolutely
looks
not.
like that?
No.
That's unacceptable.
Right.
She doesn't have to live like that.
Right.
Let me see the next picture. What is this a photo of?
Those are the big fans that ran for 3 days in my bedroom. Mind you, I was out of my bedroom, sleeping on an air mattress in my living room for a month. Now, mind you, she's upstairs doing construction. Nobody lives up there.
Let me ask you something. Why didn't you move?
Because I had nowhere to go.
Telling me the truth about what's going on here with these iPhones.
I work at night.
Where do you work?
I work at a homeless shelter in San Francisco.
What do you do?
I'm a service coordinator. And I'm there at night. By the time I come home, I'm tired. I prayed to God that someone would help me. I prayed, and I had to even remove my dog because he was so scared. And I'm like, it just...
That's against your lease.
It just went on and on and on. She's gonna talk about the dog in my lease, okay? Everybody in the whole complex got dogs. She just moved in a person with a pet bull. What, a pet bull is better than a Shih Tzu? Really? I have a Shih Tzu. You just moved a person with a pet bull upstairs. And as far as this...
Is this the bed that you say was damaged?
That's the bed, but those fans were for 3 days.
I mean, I'm just looking at this.
Do you know how cold that was?
I'm looking at this apartment, and you're only suing for $525 for the cost of a bed. I mean, this looks like there was so much more than a bed damaged here. Let's go to the next photo. That's a picture of the mattress?
Yes.
And defendant, you
just
said
bought
that you
that
actually
bed.
went in and inspected the mattress and the bed, and it was damaged?
Yes, it was, Your
Okay,
Honor.
so she only asked you to replace the bed, which
bed
was
and her pillows.
$525. Why didn't you do that?
Okay, because, Your Honor,
She could be asking for a lot more. She could move out into a hotel. She could withhold her rent based on the conditions I'm seeing in these photos and not pay you anything until this is fixed. And for what kind of...
It's an iPhone 5S, the brand new sealed.
Next on Judge Faith.
when this first happened with the mattress, again, I apologize. And then she said she had 12 pillows or whatever that
13.
needed, 13, I'm sorry, 13 pillows that needed replacing, okay?
I'm looking at the damage in this apartment, and you're counting how many pillows she's saying was damaged?
Did.
I mean, you're like penny pinching.
Danielle Johnson is suing her landlady for emotional damage and to replace her mattress. Elizabeth Williams is countersuing for damage to her toilet.
She continued to live under these conditions and is only asking you for $525 to replace her bed. Why do you pay her that money?
Well, because she was trying to defraud me.
'Cause she
Plain
only
and
want-
simple.
She offered
She's
to pay
trying
me
to defraud
$200
you,
if I
and you want her to
cancel the
live
case.
in this unlivable apartment.
No, that was not the case.
How
Your
was she
Honor.
trying to defraud you?
Okay. She told me when this first happened with the mattress, again, I apologize. And then she said she had 12 pillows or whatever that
13.
needed 13. I'm sorry, 13 pillows that needed replacing. Okay.
I'm looking at the damage in this apartment, and you're counting how many pillows she's saying was
She
damaged.
did.
I mean,
She
you're
did.
like penny pinching.
Oh, she-
Yeah.
And I don't get it. Like, this is thousands of dollars worth of damages, and you're concerned about how many
Please.
pillows
That
were
damage
on
was
her,
to
were
my
on a
property,
bed.
not thousands of dollars to her property, thousands of dollars to my property.
I'm looking at these photos, and I'm telling you now, there's no way that just a bed was damaged and that she should have
Thank
to
you.
live in those kinds
Thank
of
you.
conditions.
Thank
There's
you.
no way.
Okay.
I mean, the
Thank you.
fact, it is unfathomable to me that you can look at those photos, and I can look at those photos, and everyone else, and know no one should have to live like that. And you're saying, I don't think that bed is worth $500.
And Judge,
It's no excuse.
Judge, she told me if I settled for $200, she would make everything go away and I could continue to live there.
No.
Yes, you did.
No, I
Yes,
didn't.
you did. Don't lie.
See, the problem in cases like this, because I think that
What he does. You know, I go there, And I'm like,
This is horrible. I don't think anyone should have to live in these kinds of conditions, and I think it's unacceptable. She should not have to live in a unit like that, and if you had an ounce of decency, you would have put her up into a hotel, and let her move out of that apartment and said, you know what, for the next 2 weeks, while we're fixing this roof, you shouldn't be here because it's not safe. If she had been injured, you'd be paying a lot more, lady. She's only asking you for $525 for a mattress and a bed. No. I don't need to hear anything else. I don't need to hear anything else.
As of yesterday, before I came here, the city inspectors who have sued her for 11 properties, the city of Oakland sued her for 11 properties in 2006. There's 3 articles of her about her being a slumlord of Oakland. Not only that, but the city came out right before I came here. And at my back door is feces coming up out of the sewer. They took pictures of that. Not to mention that they're renovating the apartment not above me, but on the side of me. And they're throwing the stuff that they're tearing out of the walls. They're throwing it on the side of the building. There's trash.
I have a question for you. Why did you keep paying rent when this apartment was looking like this? Well, good. If she didn't, great. She did the right thing. Because there's no way she should be paying to live in an apartment like that. And you shouldn't even expect her to.
Right.
I just want to say, finally, someone can hear my story and decide, because I felt like I was in this alone, like nobody cared. So just thank you just for hearing this and putting an end to my misery and putting this closure. Thank you.
Well, I'm sorry that you had to go through this because first, I love okay, so your lease actually ended on September 30th, 2013. Who are willing to go into shelters and work with people who are homeless and need help. And I know that's a job that doesn't pay a lot of money. And you probably are in a situation where you couldn't just go to a hotel like some people can when there's construction and things going on in their homes. You know, you don't have the money to go to a hotel, so you're stuck living in a situation like this. And that's what's really unfortunate here. I'm not saying that the roof needs to be built like Noah's Ark, but it should be able to withstand a rainstorm.
And now, Judge Faith rules.
You actually have a counterclaim suing for a toilet that you think she intentionally broke in that apartment. I mean, I'm looking at the apartment and everything looks horrible. And I don't want to hear your counterclaim because this case really upsets me.
Okay.
My judgment in this case is for the plaintiff.
Thank you.
I'm going to award you $525, which is the cost of your bed. I think that you could have asked for a lot more in damages from this situation. You're asking for $4,475 in emotional distress. This is not an emotional distress type of case. This is a contracts case. So I can't award you emotional distress. She did breach her contract to you. And in every contract, in every lease, there's an implied warranty of habitability, and I think that was breached. I'm going to award an additional $1,000 to you in punitive damages and have her pay you an additional $1,000 for everything you went through the month that she chose to work on that roof while you still lived there in those horrible conditions. I think it was unsafe, I think it was dangerous, and I think it was a unpleasant experience, to say the least. It seemed like it was a nightmare. And one of my goals in life, I try to treat other people how I would want to be treated. And there's no way, if you or one of your relatives were living in that apartment, you would allow them to stay there while that place looked like hell. My ruling is for the plaintiff, judgment for the plaintiff. My verdict, $1,525 for the plaintiff.
Great. Thank you, Your Honor.